Hey, I'm Kyle, and this is episode 28 of the Vervet Forest. I thought I'd do a little intro this time, so here you go. First up, we're gonna have Merlin and Timothy moving to the D&D intro enclosure to meet the foster family. Next, we're gonna have Pyewacket, who's moving over to the baby cabin. Also, two new babies have arrived, Jeffrey and Trisha, who are absolutely madly in love with each other. And then we've got an update on, of course, Joli and Peggy, who went out into Koko Troop last time. And stay tuned to the end of this episode because we've got two big releases. The Skrow babies, Groot, Mo, and Zabana, all head out with their foster moms into Skrow Troop, and the Engeltjie babies, Stick, Hannah, and Elliot, all go out into Engeltjie Troop with their moms. Orphan baby monkeys Merlin and Timothy finally got to meet their foster family. Merlin and Timothy weren't too sure about the foster moms coming into the enclosure. They hung on the fence, they tried to keep their distance. But everything changed when a monkey named Chica, who was a 2016 orphan, entered the intro enclosure. Merlin took an instant liking to her, ran over, and just gave her this big old hug. He just wanted to snuggle into her and hang on to her as long as he possibly could. Chica was in absolute heaven, and Timothy did his best to get in on that hug fest. Chica did a great job at putting the two babies at ease around the adult females and really calmed them down and let them feel like they were more in control than they initially did. That night, it didn't really seem like the babies were too interested in hanging out with the moms. But the next day, when I came back to check on them, everything had changed. Merlin was clinging tight to an adult female named Phyllis, and she had no problem giving him all of her love and affection. Poor Timothy was still a bit of a third wheel, but he did his best to get in on the action when he could. For all of you that have been watching this series and following Merlin's journey, I think you can relate when I say that this is a huge moment for Merlin, and it's pretty much the best thing we could ever hope for. As a reminder, here's what Merlin looked like when he first arrived with us. We are all so proud at his recovery, and I cannot wait to see that little dude running around with the troop, climbing in the trees. Joli and Peggy are perfect. They're loving life in the troop with their foster moms, Panicure and Luca, and really, watching them out there playing around, you'd have no idea that they were once two orphan baby vervet monkeys that had had their moms ripped cruelly from their lives and were so helpless with nowhere to go and nothing to do. Now here they are, happy moms, family, food, comfort. It's the best. Two new orphan babies have arrived, a little boy named Jeffrey and a little girl named Trisha. Despite the fact that they each arrived individually, they have fallen madly in love.
Are you talking to that ringtone?
For now, the two orphan vervets are obsessed with each other and will not let go. Unfortunately, neither of them are too good at climbing yet, and so they fall a lot.
I have a concussion and I keep throwing myself off hard surfaces onto harder surfaces, which we're pretty sure is not in the book for concussion recovery.
Don't worry, vervets are incredibly resilient and these little falls don't faze them in the least. It's a necessary step in their advancement to becoming wild monkeys who will run around in the trees. They need to learn how to fall and pick themselves back up. Pyewacket was moved over to the baby cabin in order to make room for Jeffrey and Trisha. And he's still pretty shy and nervous. He spends most of his time hiding in corners, hiding behind people, and just trying to sleep. All right, so now it's time for the releases. Over in Skrow, there are 4 babies. There's Groot and Zabana in one intro enclosure, and there's Mo and Elliot in another intro enclosure. Zabana and her foster mom Mulan decided to get cheeky and make a break for it. Volunteer on the ropes wasn't paying attention, and the 2 monkeys pried open the gate and snuck right out, got out into the troop, and everyone went into high alert mode. Everyone was running around, putting the feeding cages out there into the troop, filling the milk bottles, monitoring, making sure that she was going to be okay. You know, just, she was a week early, we just didn't want anything bad to happen, and everything was fine. She was so happy to be out there, the troop was happy to have her out there. You know, it was just, it was time, I guess. And, you know, the reason that it was a week early is because she was only a week away from her 3-month mark. And I think I've mentioned it before, but I'll talk about it a little again. The 3-month mark is important for the babies because this is when they start to venture away from their moms in the wild. So naturally, these babies are inclined to venture from their mom's bellies and walk around exploring on their own once they're 3 months old. What this means for our orphans who are being adopted by foster moms is that at 3 months, the moms are more likely to let the babies off of their bellies to walk, which means the babies can then go into the feeding cages to drink milk, which is absolutely essential for the first year of all the babies' lives. Zabana was a week away from being 3 months old based on our estimations. Didn't end up being a big deal when she got out there. Everything was fine, so we went ahead with the next 2 babies. So on the release day, Bernadette and Groot were the first 2 to go out, and they didn't get very far before they stopped by the fence and got stuck in a very heavy grooming session. After Groot, we moved to the next intro enclosure, and it was time for Mo and Polar to head out into the troop. But things just took a long time. They didn't seem interested in leaving the food-full intro enclosure, and after about 3 hours of waiting, we finally called it and said, you know what, we'll come back tomorrow, we'll try again. And as some of us were walking away, Alex, the staff member who was managing the ropes, got the 2 monkeys to go out into the troop. Polar ran right out there with Mo on her belly. Everyone accepted them with open arms, and it was perfect. Groot, Zabana, and Mo are doing excellent in the troop. No problems, everyone's happy, they're drinking milk from the feeding cages, and the moms are doing an excellent job of keeping the babies in the middle of the troop where the bush is the most dense, so that it makes it nearly impossible for me to see them or film them out there. But I can't really complain because, you know, that's way more important to me than being able to film them. They're happy, they're content, they're out there playing. What more can you ask for? In 1 week's time, Eileen will reach her 3-month mark, and Buffy will be able to take her out into the troop. Where the Skrow release wasn't anything too exciting, but it was very successful, the Engeltjie release was a lot more of an adventure, especially for our injured little friend Stick. First of all, it took forever to get the babies out into the troop, and a lot of monkeys came and just sat by the fence, making it even more difficult for us to try and get the moms out with the babies. First out the door was Hannah with her foster mom, Emma. Hannah and Emma ran straight out into the middle of the troop, and we lost sight of them quickly in the bushes. But while we waited for Stick and Elliot to leave the intro enclosure, Hannah and Emma returned to the fence. Hannah was pretty stressed for some reason, and that's when she got her first taste of the electric fence that surrounds the troop. She tried climbing it, and she got zapped, and it freaked her out, and she jumped off. Luckily, Emma was there to give her a big old hug and say, "Hey, we've all been through this. Don't touch that fence. It's alive." After a while of waiting, Bisou came back to the intro enclosure, and she reached inside the gate, grabbed Elliot, and just slowly pulled him out, stuck him to her belly, and then she waddled off into the bush with this giant baby attached to her stomach. At this point, Stick was the only monkey left inside the intro enclosure, and he started to stress out, crying, climbing, pulling at the fence, confused why everyone, all of his friends, had just ditched him. That's about the time that Elliot and Bisou came back over, and they sat by the fence and waited for Stick. So Lou, the staff member on the ropes, opened up the gate, and Stick ran right out to Elliot and Bisou. Some unfamiliar females came by and tried to groom Stick, but that made him even more nervous. There it is.
Someone got him? I got
Yeah. Stick stuck close to Elliot and Bisou, but it was pretty tough for him because he couldn't figure out how to grab onto her, and he was running behind him as fast as he could, but he still got his limpy leg, and that just made his life extra difficult. But Stick did his best to snuggle in, even if that meant hanging on to Elliot as he hung to Bisou, or hanging on to Bisou's back like a backpack. Eventually they got a handle on their new family dynamic, and the troop joined them for a ton of love. Hannah and Emma, on the other hand, were more than happy to spend their time walking around together on their own, just adventuring and foraging through the bush. That's 6 more babies that have been integrated into troops, making a total of 8 babies adopted by foster moms this season. And this is just the beginning. We've still got a bunch of babies here that we have to get out into troops, and who knows when another little bundle of fluff is going to be dropped on our doorstep. And that's it for this episode of the Vervet Forest. I hope you enjoyed it. Check back every Thursday for a brand new episode. And please remember to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. Also share the videos with your friends, it helps us out a lot. If you want to see more photos or videos of the baby monkeys in between the episodes, I suggest you head over to our Instagram, which is @Vervet_Forest. Post up there all the time. We've got a Twitter, we've got a Facebook as well. It's all Vervet Forest. Also, if you want to donate to help out with the care of all the primates here at the Vervet Monkey Foundation, then you can head over to our PayPal page, which is paypal.me/VERVET. If you want to learn about volunteering or find any other links such as buying photos of the babies or finding out more about the work we do here, check out the links in the description below, also in the pinned post. It's got all sorts of cool information to help you out with all your queries and questions. All right, see you next time.